let's talk about the process of, getting Ethiopian citizenship,
Yeah.
And how did you come up with getting the idea of, getting Ethiopian citizenship, And it may sound crazy for others to change your nationality from, American to, Ethiopia, since a lot of people wants to go there and live there.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you decided to come here and start life, as a new, and from the ground. So it must be really tough. And tell me about the process of, getting this citizenship.
Well, I went to immigration some years ago, and I said to them, I want to hand in my American passport and I want Ethiopian citizenship. And they laughed at me, rightly so. They laughed at me and said, I'm crazy. And then they told me to leave their office. So I don't think they took me seriously, but I was serious. They told me I can't just do that. I'm not Ethiopian, I'm American. I said to them, I am American, but I want to hand in my American citizenship because my bloodline is Ethiopian. Impossible. You're not Ethiopian. You don't look like Ethiopian. I said, what does an Ethiopian look like? There is how many millions of people here, and everybody looks different. And I can pick out more than 1 million people that look like me. So what does an Ethiopian look like? Oh, you don't have typical Habesha features, Manamin. Okay, I'm not Habesha. What does it matter? I could be from any place. I'm Ethiopian. You have to prove it. And that's where it started. So I started to research my grandmother more, and I had friends help me. I started to speak to different lawyers. I started to look at the laws of Ethiopia and what would the entitlement be if I can prove my inheritance, so to speak. I checked the proclamation. I've spoke to so many lawyers. I read every piece of document I could find. And finally, I found a proclamation that showed me my rights. If I have a grandparent or a great-grandparent, 4 generations of heritage, I'm entitled to Ethiopian citizenship. I was like, oh my God. So I got a highlighter, and I highlighted, and I was telling my husband, this is it. And I highlighted everything, and I took it to immigration, and I said, look, it's here. They said, what does this mean? It means nothing. It means nothing. You cannot prove that you're Ethiopian. I was like, oh my God, actually they're right. But how do you prove somebody who lived around the time of Haile Selassie? So I went to Dangala. And I went to every cabaret, and I was asking people. And I remember in the Bajaj in Bahidar, a lady asked me if I was Ethiopian, and I told her yes. And she said, you don't speak Amharic. Well, Amharic people, Amharic does not make you Ethiopian. It's your bloodline, your family, your place of birth, your genetics, your bloodline. Language, Kwankwa, does not make you Ethiopian. People in the north speak one language, people in the west speak one language, even Germans speak Amharic. And they learn Ge'ez too. Does that make them Ethiopian? No. So, she said to me, you don't speak Amharic. Okay, what does this mean? Right now I know somebody in Addis. He's born Ethiopian. Everybody in his family is Ethiopian, and they sent him to America when he was 3. He does not like Injera, and he cannot speak Tanish Amharic. He doesn't understand. Even I speak to him in Amharic, he doesn't understand anything. And he's born here. So it doesn't define who you are. So when she said to me, you don't speak Amharic, I said, Tanish, Tanish, Tanish. She said, okay. Then she started to ask me about my family. And I told her a little about my family, and she was like, Ara. And I looked at her, I was like, I'm surprised, what happened? Men didn't know. And then she said to me, she knows of my family through her mother, and we were Gorabet. And then we started kissing in the bajaj. She said, and she's kissing me. And I was happy. So that kind of gave me a boost. So when I went to Dangala, I researched and I was asking just so many people. And one lady from Kebele 5 advised me to go to Kebele Amist, which was one of the oldest Kebeles. And there was a little old man there. And I sat in Dangala. Okay. And I sat and drank coffee with him. And I started to ask him some questions. And he was telling me he knows of my family, but they had left when he was a boy. And he was a very old man. They left when he was a boy. And I just cried. And this man is, I cried.
It's okay. It's fine. It's okay.
I cried because
it's your time. It's okay.
I was finally breaking ground. It's very difficult for a human being to feel like they have power over you. So I cried. You know, he told me I couldn't, there's no documentation. So I cried. And I remember my friend patting me and saying, why are you crying? And I couldn't even speak because I looked at him and I said, you will never understand. So from that, I decided to go to the courts. And I remember immigration telling me I need to be able to prove it. So when I spoke to this older man, God bless him, he's now passed away. I went to the courts in Dangala, and I remember them helping me to search. And when they finally found a weakness, they were able to give me the proper documentation from the research that they did. And when I took that to Addis, they told me, oh, this is local court. It's not, the documentation is not important. We cannot use it. I said, why? You need Supreme Court. I was like,
it must be really.
It was tough because at the time I couldn't fly, because flying on an American passport, it was almost 6,000 or 7,000 baht to fly. So can you imagine?
Yeah.
And I didn't have any dollar. Okay. I didn't have any pound. I was using Ethiopian birr. And at the time there was only one income. So it was impossible for me to fly through Ethiopian Airlines, paying almost 15,000 birr every single time I wanted. So I would have to take the bus. So it was hard, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours. Anyway, they told me I needed that. So I remember coming back to Bahidar Supreme Court. And even then it was a little bit of a struggle. And I asked them, I said, I need to see the judge. And they were, no, you can't. For what purpose? So I explained to them, and he was very nice. He very helpful. The secretary was very helpful. Eventually, after talking, they were able to verify the document, and he signed and he stamped after verification. And I remember the secretary looking at me and smiling. Actually, I need to go and tell her thank you. I remember her looking at me and smiling, and she says, you speak Amharic? I said, Tunish. She said, go business. So that was another boost. And even with that document, which was before 2 years, it took another 2 years. Usually it's supposed to take 3 days.
It takes 2 years.
It was hard. And all who could have helped me, I think they gave up. They didn't believe. I think so.
Okay.
They didn't say. Okay. They didn't say, but I think inside they just kind of. But you see, the vision was in me. Yeah. The drive was inside me. So I'm not expecting somebody else to take the baton and run with it. I have to run with my own baton. I don't.
Yeah, really.
It's my race.
A fighter.
I didn't have choice. You know, I'm fighting against myself, not who is in government or who is my friend or my family to help me. I was seeing myself at the end of the race with the white line, and I have the baton in my hand, and I have to run to the end. If I stop, it doesn't benefit me. If I turn back, it doesn't benefit me. So just only look at Macharesha. Macharesha, like this. That's my mindset. So when I went back to immigration, again, Eshi, we will discuss, we will call you. Months would go by, no phone call. I will go back to this. Any progress? No, we have a meeting. Oh, we are busy. Oh, we'll discuss. I would go to immigration, sometimes I would cry because of the frustration. And typically, I would be aggressive. And I would express myself and tell them. But my grandma used to say, sometimes you have to take time and take your hand from out of the lion's mouth. If you do like this out of the lion's mouth, he will bite you. If you slowly kas, then he may not bite you. So it didn't benefit me to go to immigration and choke them. Some days I wanted to choke, but it would not have benefited me, you know? So I would cry, out of my office, why are you crying? They didn't understand. When you want something, when you love something, nobody will understand. So I kept going. I went to every office. Help me. You have to go here. Help me. You have to go here. Help me. So I was like zim. To the point where when I got to immigration,
everybody knows you.
Everybody in immigration. Hullum so. And I think that was bad because you're supposed to be in and out. Anyway, eventually, after pushing, I started to receive a lot of support. And with the support, eventually I got to the man at the top, and I explained. I just told them, I said, I am an Ethiopian. Yene Ethiopiawi. እንዴት ቤተሰብ እንዴት አያት ቤተሰብ ምናምን You cannot and should not take my right from me. And I told them, you will ask them. I told them, if you prevent me from living here, God is going to fix you. God want me here. Lemon alok. To be honest, I have no idea. But I know I'm supposed to be here. I don't think that moved them in any way. But I told them, ayin by ayin, God will fix you. This is my country, this is my home, and I'm staying here. So one of my friends asked me, Taito, if they give you the document, or if they don't give, if they tell you to go and then come back, will you go? I said, no, I will not leave. Lemon. Because they will make it even more difficult. Maybe if I leave, they tell me I cannot come back. I said, I will not leave. I will stay and eat with everybody else. Chigrelo. So it was hard. It was a hard, difficult process. Many times there are certain places I couldn't stay because of my American passport. You know, once they see the American passport, they think dollar. And even people in America, not every American has money because they come here and they come with conjo lips. Everybody shops before they go on vacation. They save their money before so they can relax and spend. But when they go back, they have to work like donkey because it's either by credit card or they use some of their savings, they have to put it back. Nobody is in America living like this.
That's the mindset here.
It's a wrong mindset.
Mindset of, you know, a lot of people.
It's a wrong mindset. Everybody has to work. Nobody gets to drink Buna 5 times for the day. Ada? I tell him impossible. It's impossible. If you have a job and you come to your job at 4 o'clock, to what? And your job is submit, you don't have a job. So I think when you see our people come to Ethiopia, they're coming because of the love of the country and the love of the people. And it's unfair for us to assume they have. Okay, the standard of living may be a little bit different, but it doesn't mean it's better. Better is a mindset, or can be a mindset. Your environment is what you make it, right? Yeah. So if you need a conjo environment, you have to go to America for a conjo environment? You have to stay in Ethiopia and you have to use your talent and your skill to make Ethiopia conjo just like America or more than. That's my mentality. Why not here? Ethiopia is conjo, it is Batam green. The food is perfect. The food is natural, ahun. Maybe after 5 years it's not natural. It depends on what we accept. But we can make Ethiopia Batam yamral. Every bota, every agare. And agare, no, agare is my country. So every location, every katama, every woreda. We have to change our thinking. Why you look at somebody else's grass when you have your own sar? Fix your sar, cut your sar, take out the bad manamen, put some ababa manamen, put some design manamen. Now your sar is better than this sar. You complain for another? I disagree with this mentality.
Dear viewers, you're watching Amhara TV, and we are having a great time with Tisha Thompson, Taito, and we will be back after a quick break. Dear viewers, we are back after a quick break, and we were talking about Tisha's process of getting Ethiopian citizenship, and we will continue discussing on that point. I saw a video of you crying when you receive the citizenship, the identification card. So tell me about that. What was your emotion, your feeling on that moment?
You know what happened? That day, my friend called me and said, Taitu, we are going to immigration to find out the update on your document. I said, is she? But I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling very sick that morning. And I said to my mom, I think I should call and cancel because immigration is only going to tell me nege. And she said to me, no, go. So I just quickly fixed my sagur and I grabbed my chemise and I didn't even make any effort. And my friend came and we went, and this was the new immigration border. So I'm looking, oh my gosh, okay. Maybe when I get my documents, they will hire me as a designer to make some iron it, finish, and they need this. So when you saw me on the video and I'm like this, I'm smiling, in my head, I'm thinking design. Okay. When I design, I'm happy. So I'm looking. I had no idea the camera was in the corner. Okay. I didn't know the camera was there. Okay. So otherwise, if I knew the camera was there, I would have fixed myself. Okay. Then I wouldn't be standing directly in the center. So when I saw the video, I said, oh my God. I was so embarrassed. Anyway, I noticed my friend was going and in this office. So I'm wondering, why am I here waiting? And he didn't call me. Okay, Chikrelo. So I said, Taitu Chikrelo, he may be discussing if there is something manaman. Again, after a few minutes, they called me in the office. So the camera is there. I said, okay, Chikarelom, maybe they were having, it's at this building, okay. At this bureau now, Selezi. I was thinking, okay, maybe they had them doing some video, so it has nothing to do with me. Then the Antulet sauce Arat. Arat so they are in almost like semicircle. And they call me. My lip is boom, 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 boom. They will tell me to out Ethiopia, oh my God. Then I see the man with the camera. I'm thinking, men didn't know. I was like, men didn't know. Then they become formal. They? I was like, oh my God. And everything starts in my mind. From the time I came off the plane, from the time I went to Dangala, from the time in Bahadar, back and forth. And he had some type of warakat in his hand. So immediately my mind was, okay, they will give me something to say. Eventually, we will support your document. But right now, this is just a certificate of, we accept you, Tanish. Okay. So when he pulled the card, I almost died. Xavier, okay. I almost died. And that's when my brichiko was overflowing. Because I thought, Grandma, finally. And I started to cry. And everybody, why is she crying for Ethiopian citizenship? No, I'm not crying for Ethiopian citizenship. I'm crying for my grandma. I'm crying for my family. I'm crying for the right, my right to be here. I'm crying because of the process. I'm crying because I am happy. It wasn't tears of pain. Now, this is not for every person. Ethiopia is not for everyone. Some people don't like Ethiopia. Chikrelom, you can go. Those type of people we don't need in Ethiopia anyway. We need people who love Ethiopia, who want to build, who want to see our country magnificent. Those are the reasons I was crying. So when I'm holding myself, I'm feeling it. This is not for every person. Every person will not feel like this. This was Taitu's feeling. I was overwhelmed with joy. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful to the Ethiopian people. I'm grateful even to immigration and everybody that supported the journey and allowed me to get the warakat. You know, sometimes people are unhappy in their own self and they push their sadness on other people. So maybe some of the people in immigration, they were feeling some type of anger or some type of inside pain, and it was easy for them to push it on me. ችግር የለውም. That's their problem, and they have to ask God to help them with that. But for Taitu, as an Ethiopian, I'm happy, and I'm grateful, and I'm thankful. But
really nice. I want to know, what was your, family and relatives, reaction when you changed your citizenship from American to Ethiopian?
yeah. Well, my immediate family here in Ethiopia was very happy. My mom on the phone, la, 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 la. She was giving God thanks. My daughter cried. She kissed me, Mama. Oh my God, I'm so happy she kissed me. My husband kissed me the whole day. Finally, he said, finally. My family in the West, some of them don't know. Okay. The ones that do know are so excited and happy for me. At first, they were not pro-Ethiopia. Ahun, they are pro-Ethiopia. Now they are like, is she? Will visit. Because when I speak to them in Tanish Amarinya. Okay. So when I call them or they call me, I say, Salam nish? Salam no? Dena nachu? And they're like, Salam. And for me, it's a start. Yeah. It's a start. So I think they'll visit one day. Maybe they might move, maybe not, but it's a start.
I have been hearing speaking a little Amharic, and you speak Amharic, and do you communicate with people, using Amharic?
I'm not perfect. I'm too old to catch it like a child. Some people say it's easy, but I think easy is a matter of perspective. I study, I communicate as much as if I don't understand, I might ask. Sometimes I forget. As much as possible, I try to speak Amharic. And I need to be perfect. My aim and my goal is perfect now.
About, your social life. I mean, the way you live with people, neighbors, friends,
I'm a people person. I've always been social. It's my nature, it's my character. I've always been social. So whether it be drinking coffee or going out or having dinner, as long as I'm with people who respect me as much as I respect them, it's not an issue. I won't do anything that makes me feel uncomfortable. At the same time, I'm very social. It's also part of being an artist. An artist meaning the whole design, because you look at things slightly different. You don't, as an artist, you don't look like everybody else. You might wear brighter colors, or you might dress a little funky or a little crazy, or you might add more to yourself than somebody else would, because you see things differently as an artist. So that whole being social comes with the whole artistry.
And you are an interior designer, and you also love, to sing and dance.
Yes, I
love
to dance.
Okay. So tell me about it. Like, do you like Ethiopian music, and which one is your favorite? I mean, you frequently listen.
To be honest, I listen to all Ethiopian music because I love music in general. So there's not any type of Ethiopian music that I wouldn't listen to, but to dance to, I like Teddy Afro, because one of his songs, he sings Ethiopia, Agare. So for me, that's almost like an anthem.
Okay.
So when I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's my mom. Shh, don't speak. And I sing it because it speaks to me. It speaks to me in terms of Ethiopia's my country, as well as it's everybody else's country. But finally, I can say that with boldness. And then my other song that I really like, he's an artist from Walaita. I forgot his name. He sings Benya Indeshe, Eroro, Shamata.
Okay. So,
Asgenyo. When I hear that song, ooh, when I hear that song, come on. And I really like him. I like his personality, his smile. He looks at the camera, his movements, and he's like this. So I love it. I love it.
So
I love it.
I
do. I do. Any dance, I'll do it.
Really?
Any dance. And I go to the cultural house and I'll dance,
Okay.
I'll do my dance. And
what do you like the most from Ethiopian dishes?
Bayonet, because I don't eat meat.
Okay.
So
Vegetarian?
I eat fish.
Okay.
I do eat fish. I do love fish. I love the fish from Bahadar. I used to buy fish every week with my family. But I love bayonet. And the reason why I love it is because it has kaiser, it has dinich, it has tinish shinkut, it has mindino, misarwat, berbere, mitita. It has a little of everything. So I love it. I love it. My favorite.
Do you cook Ethiopian dishes?
Of course. I'm in Ethiopia, I have to.
Which one is you are very good at it?
All of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. So we may, get the chance someday to see how you cook.
Only thing I don't make is injera.
Okay.
Because I don't have the injera pan. But I can.
You learn.
I can do it. Okay. I've done it before, but I have not, I don't have the, so I buy the injera from the souk.
Well, I am almost, done with my questions. Today we are, having this interview at your friend's house, Dr. Mulunesh.
Yes.
And you can also tell us about her and your friendship if you want.
My friendship with my dear sister Mulunesh started, I would say, around a year ago. And I met her through my big brother, which is her husband, Tade, Dr. Tade, who works at the hospital my husband was working at. I met him there, I would say, around 4 years ago when I did a presentation for interior design for the hospital. And I remember in the presentation, he stood up and he said, as a joke, one day you will do my house. When I get a house, you will do my house. And I didn't take him serious because he was one of the doctors I rarely interacted with. So as time progressed, he would speak with my husband because my husband was the IT person at the time, working at the hospital. So he would go to every doctor's office to make sure their computer was working, to make sure the hospital system was working. So everybody knew my husband more than they knew me. I was doing the hospital uniform design, the aesthetic value of the hospital, some of the classes, the stationery design, the garden area of the hospital. So I didn't get to interact with too many people, but my husband did. That's how I met Dr. Tade. After I think I designed a medical facility in Kebele 13, MRI facility, Nisr. And Dr. Tade was working there. So I was doing some of the wall designs and the mastout design. And we started to interact from there, and Mulunesh came. And she was standing, watching me. And I didn't know because I was on the ladder at the top fixing some material. And when I came down, I saw her. I was surprised. And she looked at me and she smiled and she said, "You are so special, you are so unique." And I said, "Really, why?" She said, "Look at all of this work. How did you do this, Manaman?" And that's where our relationship started. Eventually, I moved to Impact. And we would come every Bayekan, Mata. Every Mata. Every Mata. If not by dinner, by Buna. They would invite us. Because we didn't have a Mekina. And Dr. Tade was carpooling with my husband to work. So they became very close. You know, you spend time with people, you get to know them, a lot of conversation. Selezi, because of my husband and Tade, they became like brothers. Then we came here in the evenings and we became a part of the family. They adopted us as a part of the family, and that's how I got to know Mulunesh. And one day she said to me, "I need for you to do one class in my house." And Dr. Tade, he said, "Go on." He wasn't expecting anything, so he said, "Go on." And eventually I ended up doing design in all their house instead of one class. So this here is, actually we have a baba inside. Okay. And I picked these from the local area around the house. Okay. And I dried them. Okay. And then this is a local grass. Local grass, okay. Local sar, okay. A local baba. Okay. And I pressed them, okay. Dried them, okay. And then I put them inside the mastout. I didn't want a typical picture frame. Okay. Sometimes when you do design work, you're always trying to invent something new, something different. So I decided that instead of having a full frame, I would go for half a frame and have something that's natural inside. Is there any glue or something? No glue. You know. No glue. Okay. I heard also you also designed the chair rail. Yeah. Yeah. To keep it, it's actually wood. Okay. But to keep it simplified for the modern aesthetics, just small box frames. And then to have the traditional for mulu, we use the wood. Okay. So it's still, you can still see some of the grain work and texture, okay. But it marries the two together, the wood and the grain. And this kind of separates okay. The room, gives you a feeling from the top to the bottom instead of having one. How about this
I also heard that you designed this.
Yes. It was very important for Mulu to have the whole feeling of her culture and the traditional feel. And I think in everything that you do, you have to listen to what the client wants. It's always what the customer wants, within reason. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, wow, this stuff is really nice. And then I chose the fabric and decided how could I put the two together. So I did different drawings of whether I'd put it there, there, there. And I decided just having it clean and simple for the modern look. On the edge, it would be in.
You produced this from, you know.
This was an old broken piece of furniture that doctor told me, throw it.
Okay.
And I was like, no, 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 let's not throw it. So I looked at it and made sure that I had some good framework. And then I had to buy extra pieces, sand it, clean it, shave it, fix what I could fix. And then I brought it into this, which is really, really quite modern. And they're happy. They're happy about this. So actually, he didn't even know what it was. He was like, I don't know this piece. I said, yes, you do. You know it. Really? Where is it from? And when he realized, he was really, really happy.
Okay.
He was really happy.
Well, Taito, I'm all done with my questions. And if you have anything to say or any message or to thank, you have the chance.
My message, I want to thank Bahadar for looking after me. I want to say thank you to some of the people at Gambi, the receptionists at Gambi, the ones that are in the front. You know, I love them all. A lot of people at Gambi have been very supportive. I want to even thank some of the people in Gabia. Okay. You know, because I would go and buy my enkolal and my shinkut and, you know, my berbere. I want to thank some of the people in Gambia, in Gabia, because they've been really good to me, supportive. You know, if I say I need a whole kilo shinkut, they will cook, and I will go and shop everywhere. So I want to thank them. I want to say thank you to one of my very close and dear friends, Emu. She owns a restaurant in the city Katama, here in Bahadar. She has been there from the beginning. You know, I love her very much. Her children are always with me. My children are always with her. I want to say thank you to her, because even though she has not known the detail a lot of this process, we've been friends, very good friends outside of this. We've done a lot together. So I want to say thank you to her. Thank you to the people in Impact. The people that have allowed me to live in their homes, thank you to them. Some of my friends from Addis, you know, even one of my friends, his name is Giovanni. He helped me a lot when I was going to Dangla. He doesn't think I appreciate him. I appreciate you a lot. He was very supportive, and I worked with him on different projects. There are so many people. I want to say thank you to Ato Dese. Ato Dese has made such a powerful impact on this whole process, helping me transition with the right people. The list goes on. The list goes on. There are so many people I could thank. List us the list. you, Bahadar. I love you, Bahadar. I appreciate you, Bahadar. You're my number one. Number one.
Dear viewers, you have been watching our discussion with Aitu Thomas, and I hope you enjoyed our program for watching and you enjoyed the rest of our program from Amhara TV.